Well, thank you, Felicity and Josh, for joining us at Livewire Music tonight to talk about your new album that's out at the end of the week. Um, so it's the third album, Everything Around You. What what drove you to write this album?
Wow. Well, everything in the world, everything that has influenced us to get us to this point, we put it on our whiteboard of ideas, and it just became obvious that that was going to be the focus for the album, that we would write to that theme, and it all stemmed from a piece of artwork that our eldest daughter actually created. And I just said to Josh, we've got to have that as an album cover. And it was this compass that she drew with our initials and a beautiful rose at the centerpiece of the compass. And the words "everything around you" just made sense, and it all sort of came from there. And this is album number three, and we've just sort of kept going from where Birdsong left off.
Yeah, and I think the theme of it really comes out of the idea that everything in life affects you for good or for bad. And oftentimes, whether it's good or bad is a choice that's up to you as well. You can decide on how you receive things or process them and how you work through them, and then what you put out into the world in return. So we have personally made a decision to try and choose positive things and hopeful things and try and reflect that back to the world. So that's kind of the general idea behind the title and the overall theme of the album.
I was going to say that the songs like Lifeline and Stone in Your Heart and I Want You, um, they're all really classic love songs. Yeah. But then you've got New Frontier, which is talking about speaking truth to power. And then with Joy Roller, you've got that truth seeker out there. But it's traditional
I love
country.
Yeah, I love that you've listened so in depth to the songs, and that you're getting all those takeaways. And there is traditional country in there, and there's blues and folk. There's a
Mm.
bit of all of it.
Is that important to keep everything fresh to play with genre?
I think so. I mean, all of those different styles that we tend to play with are all under the same kind of umbrella. We just think of it as roots music, and it comprises country and folk and blues and all those kind of organic sort of types of music that we love the sound of resonates with us. So we don't necessarily set out to achieve a certain sound. It's often a case of letting the songs lead the way. You'll get a song about a certain thing. You mentioned New Frontier, and it kind of felt like it needed to have a gritty, bluesy, edgy sort of tone to it, given the subject matter. So that's what we went with. We didn't kind of say, well, we have to be a traditional country act, so let's just try and shrink it into that. We just let the song speak for itself.
I was going to ask what comes first. Is it the melody or the lyrics, or is it a mix?
It can be a guitar riff, it can be a melody, and it can be
A lyrical idea.
yeah, all the above. It can be online shopping looking for my mum's perfect gift, and that's where Joy Roller came from. I mean, you've just got to take, inspiration when it's and wherever and however.
Is it harder to find inspiration as you get older, or is it easier to look at the absurdity of life?
Mm.
Oh, I don't know whether you could make a general statement about that. It probably comes down to the individual. You could make a case that the longer you live, the more experience you have, the more life has gone through your heart and your mind, and so you should have more subject matter. But then, the longer you live, sometimes the busier you get, and the more out of touch with those creative aspects of who you are. That can also happen as well. It just depends on the person, I suppose. But I think for us, we're finding, there's lots to write about. There's lots to be inspired by, and
And you don't care about consequences like you do when you're 20, or pleasing people. So that's great that that's just out the window now. at this chapter of our lives, and we've both had a few decades under our belt. So we feel really grateful, center and foremost, to be able to do what we do, and to have our kids also loving music, and that we feel a real position of just doing right by your kids, and leading by example. Parenting is the toughest gig in the world, and you really want to you want to help them, guide them the best way you can, and also tell them to go and live life and be brave.
Yeah, and I think also part of that too is um, giving the example of not being conformed or bent to expectations, and not that you want to be overly, self-focused or just I'm just doing it my way, but you really do, as one of our songs speaks to, you have to please yourself, not in a selfish way, but just be satisfied, be proud, be confident in what you're doing, and believe in it, and then that's probably the best way that other people might sort of resonate with it and come on board with it. And I think being true to yourself is a pretty important theme on the record, and it's a good way to live your life.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think everyone needs to look for happiness. I was thinking about New Frontier um, while listening to well, my day job in the background on the news, and it's not a happy time, is it? And I think
Yeah.
it's the responsibility with music and that to try and find it, like give people some hope.
Oh, hope's so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think hope is huge. In my day job, which is also playing music, I only got to, as a member of the Waifs, be part of a Red Hot Summer tour and crowded
Yeah,
house
I went and saw you.
bill.
Um,
Oh, great!
yeah, I was
Hey,
up at I was up at Sandstone Point.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a. But
yeah.
the thing that I mentioned, the reason I mentioned that is because
Mm.
Neil Finn, he spoke just about every gig. He made a really heartfelt comment. It was never the same comment, but just in a very genuine way, he talked about the importance of hope and the ability of
Mm.
music to communicate hope and inspire hope, and how much we need to hold on to hope, especially in these crazy times that we're living in.
So
So
that touched us greatly. Like it actually physically brings us to teary. Like, you know, the power of his music, and his sense, the humility, and it's so inspiring.
well, I thought you guys were pretty good with the waves. You set up the day, fine. It was a fantastic gig. I just went down to the next version of the Red Hot Summer at Port Macquarie with Paul Kelly 2 or 3 weekends ago, and that was fun
that'd
too. Like, everyone finding their feet that first concert was really interesting to watch. I think by the time everyone gets to Sandstone, they're really practiced.
Yeah.
yeah,
But no, that was a great concert. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I know this is going to sound strange, but I think 30 years ago I interviewed you guys when the Waves first came out with their
yeah.
very first single, and I was with BMA in Canberra.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, back in the day,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
That
yeah,
would that would be
good old days. I went and saw you in Canberra. And I'm just trying to picture where it was. It wasn't the basement because that didn't
uh,
exist then.
no, Phillies.
It was at Tilly. It was Tilly's Divines. Of course it was. Yeah, I saw you lots of times there, actually about 10 times
Yeah.
during the 90s and things like that.
Like, still there. They don't do a lot of music. In
Mm.
fact, maybe they very rarely do it. But certainly it's been a very significant venue in the musical life of Canberra.
Oh,
That's
well,
for sure.
Paula used to scare the hell out of me. She would say, "Oh, when you're putting on this band, you've brought them in. You better, sell those tickets and everything." She used to come up behind me and go, "Did you sell them? Did you get who I wanted?" And I'm like, "Just wait till people open their mouths. You'll be fine."
Yeah.
Good on you.
And it was like she came up to me once. I think it was after a Waves concert, and she sort of went, "Just as well, you're bloody well right, isn't it?" I sort of went, "What?"
Oh,
She used to terrify me. Um, I mean, once you're reaching your 30 years in music, you must be starting to hit that sweet spot. A lot of the artists that I've interviewed over the last year, are all, like the Hives and some of those big bands, Sabaton, and even in metal, when they hit that 30-year period, everyone's like, "Fuck what everyone else is doing. I'm going to do this, or we're going to do this." And the music is joyful. It's almost like they've, gone back to start. Is that what it's been like for you?
I reckon it is. Well, it is like the start for us because we are a new thing,
Mm.
you
Well,
know.
albums in, but
But it's still,
it feels like the beginning of a journey.
yeah, we're still building, our mob, our people, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I think what I hear you communicating there, Cecilia, is there's a freedom that comes in
Yeah.
Mm.
really into who you are, and knowing kind of what we were talking about earlier. Doing the thing that makes you feel free or true to who you are, and you're not really worrying about needing to
Please,
have a hit song on the radio, or whatever it might be, like the things that we might clamour for, or the world clamours for. It's not necessarily the most important thing. And
Now,
yeah, there's quite a realization.
yeah, I think it's right. It's all about that artistic freedom to go and do what you want to be and do what you want to say, be what you want to be and say what you want to say.
Yeah.
yeah.
And do it in a way that pleases you. And if people like it, great. And if they don't, that's their that's their problem.
That's their choice.
And their choice,
Yeah.
their problem, get on board or don't, you know.
Yeah,
I note that you're playing the precinct up in Nambour. Um,
yeah.
have you ever played there before?
No.
It's
No,
fantastic.
no.
It's an awesome
Oh,
little venue. You'll love it. It is little, but best drinks in the world,
oh, great.
and really, really fantastic, like a little steampunk venue. Um, I meant to check where you've got a huge amount of dates coming up. But I'm going to try and get to Nambour because I just love that venue.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that'd be
Well,
great.
bring some friends.
I just wanted to thank you for your time. Um, and I really hope the album does well when it comes out on, it's Friday, isn't it? This Friday, the
Yeah,
6th, through ABC Records.
it
It
is.
is.
And we're launching it at the Port Fairy Folk Festival. So
Oh,
it's going to be a
sounds so
hoot.